Jim Montgomery has joined the conversation on Jeremy Swayman and has spoken out with confidence that he will be a Boston Bruin next season. I'm going to be talking about that, as well as Don Sweeney revealing in a recent interview that he thinks that there could be another sneaky forward joining Fabian Lysell and Georgi Merkulov as a possibility for that extra forward. And finally, we're going to be talking about David Pastrnak. And then also in another recent interview, he has said that he regrets one thing from the playoffs last year. So I'm going to be talking about all of that here in this video. Before we get into it, though, we know it's 70% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're looking for a spot to get all of your Boston Bruins news, you're in the right spot. Hit the sub button. Join me here, as we know that we're still waiting for this Jeremy Swayman update, and we're getting many, many more throughout this time, but still, that contract extension is the thing that we're waiting for, and you're not going to want to miss when we bring all of that news. But like I said, let's get into our first topic here of this video, which is the whole Montgomery situation, what he had to say about Jeremy Swayman, and what he thinks about the whole scenario going on as well. So first of all, I'm going to pull up the first quote from Jim Montgomery, sorry. I do have two of them here, so bear with me. He says, "I saw Jeremy yesterday at Ray Bork's golf tournament. Him and I had a great conversation about leading, needing to become a leader as part of the Bruins." And once again, to me, this just seems like Jim Montgomery reassuring us that he thinks that Swayman's going to become a Bruin next year, still become a Bruin next year, I should say, and kind of just easing the mind and saying that we're going to be talking about next year, not focusing on what is happening right now in this whole situation, but also going on from this in the same situation, same interview. He says, "I don't have anything to do with the contract situation. That's not my part of the job detail. My job is the connection with the players and how we're going to be good this year, and I have no doubt Jeremy Swayman will be a Bruin at the start of camp. We'll be ready to go." So once again, it's some more confidence from Jim Montgomery, and obviously he does have nothing to do with this at all. He's not the guy that you're going to go out here and, see him make any contract negotiations or anything. He's there to guide this team, and he's been doing quite a good job at it. So what he has to say, obviously, is important. He don't have anything to do with it, but the fact that he has the confidence that he's still going to be informed on the whole contract, what's going on, the progress and everything, he knows just as well as we do, as Jeremy Swayman does, as Don Sweeney does, that he is going to be a Bruin next season, and it still will just take time. Now, I'm going to do a little update here on Jeremy Swayman as well, what we're seeing from him, his stats. I'll post them on the bigger screen as well. We know that he's going to have more games this season, and that is going to be a big part for Jim Montgomery, the kind of plan and the way he's going to work him into becoming that regular starter that we see in the NHL. As he's been a 50-50 starter for the past 2-3 seasons, it's going to be a big step up for him, but I know that Jeremy Swayman's going to want to do it. He's going to be ready to do it. And with, the games that we've seen him play over the past 2 seasons, and the 44 last year, and 37 the year before, he's been stellar in those. And especially in last year's playoffs, he's expressed his want and interest to play as many games as possible. And especially when we do see later on down the season, it's going to be interesting to see how the wear and tear affects him compared to what it was in the past 2 seasons. So, once again, still just a lot of waiting. Jim Montgomery speaking out as well, saying that he has confidence that this will happen. And that's one thing that I did want to continue to hear. And, he wasn't really going to say otherwise, but that's still one thing that you like to be able to see, that the coach and another major part of this team is really expressing that he will be here next season. So that's another second topic of this video, which is a pretty sneaky forward candidate is joining the listings of players that may be joining this team next season to start on that extra winger position. And this is one, we have a quote from Don Sweeney, and I'm going to pull up the stats of this player in a minute, but this is what I wanted to pull up first to kind of break this down. He says, "I think we've made some hard decisions with players. I think that this year, Poitras and Beecher were good examples of that, that they placed well enough that they earned their opportunity. And I would say Georgi Merkulov or Fabian or Riley Duran, or keep going down the list. Just pin your ears back, train your ass off this summer, and come with the intent that there will be another opportunity here. If you're the best player, then we'll find a way to get you in the lineup." And this coming from Don Sweeney, rather than another outside source. Having Riley Duran in this list when really we've been just hearing Merkulov and Lysell. This also, to me, makes me think that this team and the organization has a very big high on him. And I think that's a proper thing to do. We know how good he is. We know how good he can be. And I think that he could be a perfect fit on this line. Now, he's definitely not as offensive as the other two that we've been mentioning for quite a while, but his play style and everything really just works out to be what the Bruins need right now. We have the goal scorers, we have the offensive talent on the forwards, and having a guy like Riley Duran on this team really will kind of even out what we see in the bottom 9, or even the top 6 as well. He won't be taking a top line spot from David Pastrnak, but maybe a second line if we do see him there. And even if he does not make this team, I don't think it will be long until we do see him. And what we have from his stats, I will once again pull this up on the bigger screen. I do apologize. Coming to Providence last year, the Providence Bruins, that is, at the end of last season, after the college season was ended, 4 points in 11 games. Really just kind of what we expected. You can't really judge anything off that, just coming over from college to the minors, for the first few games. But I think we're going to real tell in the training camp and preseason what the Bruins will do, especially if he does continue to play the way the Bruins think he can play, and the way he is continuing to, take this on as a rookie. I'm very excited to see if he does end up making the team. If he does beat out Lysel Merkulov, I think he's going to be riding that high into the season, and we could be seeing some very, very good things from him. But as you can see throughout his college years as well, like as I mentioned, he's not the most offensive guy, but his defensive-minded abilities, his play style, everything works out to be what the Bruins need in that winger position, whether it be on line 2, 3, or 4 to start off. But let me know what you think. This is what I wanted to get your guys' opinion on. Do you think it is going to be Lysel Merkulov, or maybe even a free agent, a PTO player, or do you think that they're going to go Riley Duran, kind of the outside option that we all acknowledged, but if he were to be actual an option, we didn't really know. But now that Jim Montgomery, or sorry, not Jim Montgomery, Don Sweeney had mentioned this, really putting this into my mind now that he could be a real possibility, and one that I'm quite happy with, to be honest with you. But let's head on to our third and final topic of this video, which is David Pastrnak. He's revealed his biggest regret from last season in the playoffs, and this is one that kind of makes me happy to see that this is what David Pastrnak is saying right now. And I'll pull up this screenshot right here for the bigger one. It says, while speaking with NHL insider Elliotte Friedman, David Pastrnak revealed that his lone regret from the 23-24 season was that he and the Bruins could not force a Game 7 against the Florida Panthers. However, Friedman also reported that Pastrnak said that Florida was simply the better team than the Bruins last season. And having this coming out from David Pastrnak, knowing that he still has this on his mind, I'm sure it's not bugging him, but it definitely still is there in the mind, knowing that they could have gone into a Game 7. And a Game 7, if that had happened, I think the Bruins would have beaten the Panthers just off simple momentum, as well as what we'd seen in round 1 against the Maple Leafs. And having Pastrnak in this mindset really makes me excited that this season he's going to be pushing 150%. Last year we've seen him very, very good in these playoffs, heated up near the end right when we needed him, more so than he was in the season. But having this mindset right now, not even at the regular season yet, not even in preseason, and we see David Pastrnak already trying to get revenge on the Panthers, on the NHL, knowing that this team absolutely could have won a Game 7 if they got there, while acknowledging that the Panthers were the better team. This really just makes me excited to see what we're going to see from him this season, what kind of level he's going to take, and next level he's going to take with the new teammates of Elias Lindholm on his line. I think we're going to see some fantastic numbers from David Pastrnak this year. And I want to know what you guys think. What do you guys think about this whole David Pastrnak thought process? Obviously, it's something you like to see, but do you think this is going to hinder him during the offseason, or do you think it will be a big bonus for him with going into this mindset? Let me know what you think. But that's all I got this video. If you did enjoy it, give it a like, hit the sub button as well. Support has been absolutely insane lately. We're on the road to 4K. And if we could hit that before the season, that would be unreal. But like I said, I'm signing out. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.